The crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign contributions.
You said they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
Last time, one of my
you
colleagues,
were quoting what a Marxist in Chicago said about
And what evidence do you have that she's a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto industry.
Do you want to apologize to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing legislation that destroys our economy.
For calling
you are distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
you are wasting.
Well, I think we are
next level whack job.
I think we are.
Is this middle school, Senator?
Picture this. A Senate hearing that's supposed to be about the future of digital assets, crypto, blockchain, the next frontier of financial freedom. But instead, it turns into a mix of confusion, heated exchanges, and even personal jabs. Senator Kennedy lays it all out. Congress doesn't understand these technologies. Agencies like the SEC might not be trusted, and big money is flowing into Washington trying to buy influence. Then suddenly, the hearing derails with accusations about campaign contributions, Twitter spats, and an argument that sounds more like middle school than the halls of the United States Senate. And here's the truth. This isn't just about crypto. This is about whether America will protect innovation, safeguard freedom, and hold the political class accountable, or whether we'll let bureaucrats and lobbyists strangle the future of technology in red tape and corruption. Welcome to America Viewpoint, where we speak the truth, defend our freedoms, and fight for the values that made this nation great. No censorship, no woke spin, just bold, unfiltered commentary from real Americans who love this country. If you're tired of the lies and ready to stand for faith, family, and freedom, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the Liberty Bell, because this is where the fight begins.
I've listened with great interest today, and here's what I hear you saying. The four folks to my left, I hear you saying that digital assets are different. Digital assets hold great promise. Digital assets need special rules. I agree with that. The obvious question is, what should those rules be? And to what extent should we allow you to draft them? I've also heard some of you say that digital assets represent the next generation of the internet. Well, we let the current generation of the internet draft their own rules. And frankly, it looks like what we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample. Congress can't even agree on basic legislation dealing with privacy on the internet. How the hell are we going to tackle this? But I hear what you're saying. I hear Mr. Painter, as usual, if you follow him on social media, you know, all politicians are crooks. Very helpful. I want to direct most of my questions to Professor Massad. Is that how you say your name?
Massad.
Mr. Massad. I'm really worried we're going to get this wrong. We don't know, we in Congress and our staffs don't know as much as the professionals in digital assets know. And I don't see how we can possibly catch up. Tell me more about your idea of having the SEC. Well, first, I don't want to run out of time here, but why is the digital assets industry so scared of being regulated by the SEC?
Well, I think we need to step back, Senator.
Briefly. Please.
They don't want everything treated as a security because they don't want that entire framework to apply. But that's also because the SEC did fail to try to customize its rules to adapt for this technology, and it should do that. And you've got leadership at the agencies now who are working on those things.
You're suggesting that we turn to two of our agencies, one of which is the SEC, and say, you have expertise. Before we take a crack at a bill, you come up with a bill, with rules, with regulations. Tell us how to do this. Because I hear you saying in some cases digital assets are commodities, in some cases they're securities.
Congress needs to fill the gap, which is if it's not a security, who's going to create a regulatory framework for it? So you do need to fill that. But these questions about exactly which is when is it a security, when is it not a security, how do we customize the rules, what should we do about DeFi, a lot of that should really be left to the agencies. You could establish some principles, but I wouldn't write detailed rules.
Have you looked, Professor, at Congressman Hill's legislation?
I have in detail.
What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of problems. I think it's 236 pages of regulatory arbitrage opportunities for creative lawyers, and I used to be one that did that kind of stuff.
Made a lot of money, did you?
I did, but...
Yeah. Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks.
And why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Senator, you need to focus on this bill.
Right,
you're doing this again. You did it the last hearing. You need to read the bill.
Role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I do.
And then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
You think they've bought her?
No, I said, look at the campaign contributions.
You said they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
Last time, one of my
you
colleagues
were quoting what a Marxist in Chicago said about
her. And what evidence do you have
no
that she's a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto industry.
Do you want to apologize to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing legislation that destroys our economy.
For calling
you are distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
you are wasting.
Well, I think we are
next level whack job.
I think we are.
Is this middle school, Senator?
Senators and witness. Thank you both.
I think you should apologize, Senator.
I think, Senator, you're wasting our time. This is not middle school.
Thank you for your participation. I will say that Senator Smith is next. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So, not so long ago,
Let's start with the big picture. The hearing was supposed to be about digital assets regulation, crypto, blockchain, the technologies that many believe represent the next wave of economic opportunity. Senator Kennedy summed it up perfectly. Digital assets are different, they hold promise, and they need special rules. The problem? Washington doesn't have the knowledge, the unity, or frankly, the courage to handle this the right way. Think about it. We still don't even have basic privacy laws for the internet. Congress has dragged its feet for decades while big tech spied on us, harvested our data, and sold it to the highest bidder. And now we expect these same lawmakers to craft wise, thoughtful regulations for an industry as complex as crypto? Kennedy is right. If we're not careful, we're going to get this wrong. Where's the accountability? Where's the urgency? Kennedy was honest. Congress doesn't understand these technologies. Staffers don't. Lawmakers don't. And let's be blunt. Many of them are too busy chasing lobbyist checks and political headlines to sit down and actually learn. That's dangerous. Because here's the truth. Innovation doesn't wait for Washington. Crypto is moving forward whether Congress understands it or not. Blockchain is reshaping finance, commerce, even freedom of speech across the globe. Other nations are embracing it. If we smother it with bad laws, America falls behind. We saw it with manufacturing. We saw it with rare earth minerals. We saw it with semiconductors. Do we really want to hand over the future of digital finance to China, to Europe, to anyone but the United States of America? No way. Not on our watch. A big part of the hearing centered on the SEC. Why is the crypto industry so scared of SEC regulation? Professor Massad gave the answer. Because the SEC keeps trying to treat every digital asset like a security, forcing an outdated framework onto a brand new technology. The result? Confusion, lawsuits, and uncertainty that drives innovation overseas. Now, I'll tell you this. We need rules. We need guardrails. But they should be fair, flexible, and pro-freedom. Not a one-size-fits-all hammer that crushes innovation before it even takes root. Agencies like the SEC and CFTC might have expertise, but let's not forget, these are bureaucracies. Bureaucracies don't create prosperity. Bureaucracies create red tape. That's why Congress needs to set principles rooted in liberty and free markets. Then let the experts fill in the details, yes, but with accountability and transparency every step of the way. Because if we just hand it over and walk away, that's surrender. That's not leadership. And then, the fireworks. Senator Kennedy turned to Richard Painter, a former White House ethics lawyer, who's been blasting politicians on social media. Kennedy pressed him hard about campaign contributions from the crypto industry. Painter accused Congress of being bought. Kennedy shot back. Voices rose. Tempers flared. And suddenly, what was supposed to be a policy discussion turned into personal attacks, accusations of being a crook, and even the words whack job flying around. Folks, this is the United States Senate. This is where laws that impact millions of Americans are made. And yet it felt like a food fight in a middle school cafeteria. Now, I get it. Passions run high. Money in politics is a real issue. But here's the bigger point. The American people deserve better. We deserve debates about ideas, not childish name-calling. We deserve transparency about donations, not mudslinging theatrics. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about Richard Painter. It's not about Senator Kennedy. It's about whether we'll get laws that protect Americans or laws that serve the special interests of the few. Let's talk about those donations. Painter raised the alarm about millions of dollars in crypto money flooding into campaigns. He claimed the industry is trying to buy Congress and the White House. Now, is that shocking? Of course not. Money has been buying influence in Washington for decades. Big tech, big pharma, Wall Street. They all spend fortunes to bend policy their way. Why would crypto be any different? The real question is, will our leaders stand firm, or will they sell out? This is where patriotism comes in. Because true patriotism isn't just waving a flag on the 4th of July. It's standing up for the people you represent, even when lobbyists dangle checks in front of you. It's remembering that your oath is to the Constitution, not to corporate donors. If crypto companies want to contribute, fine, but the American people deserve full transparency. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Let us see who's funding what, and then hold our leaders accountable if their votes line up with the money instead of the people. Here's what's really at stake. The balance between freedom to innovate and protection from abuse. We've seen what happens when Washington does nothing. Look at the internet. Look at social media. Silicon Valley got to write its own rules, and now we live with censorship, addiction, and manipulation. Kennedy compared it to someone knocking over a urine sample, a disgusting mess that nobody wants to clean up. But we've also seen what happens when Washington overregulates. Jobs vanish. Entrepreneurs flee. Entire industries move overseas. So the challenge is clear. Find the sweet spot. Protect Americans from scams and fraud. Yes. But don't crush innovation. Don't strangle freedom. Don't hand over the keys to China while we bury ourselves in red tape. That's not just economic policy. That's national security. That's sovereignty. That's about whether America will lead the future or follow it. Professor Massad made an important point. Congress should set principles, not detailed rules. That's exactly right. Because when Congress writes 236-page bills full of loopholes, like Congressman Hill's proposal, it just creates opportunities for lawyers and lobbyists to exploit the system. But when Congress sets principles, things like protect consumers, encourage innovation, maintain fair competition, preserve national security, then agencies can fill in the technical details with accountability. That's how America works best. Big vision from the people's representatives, careful execution by experts, and constant oversight by a free press and a vigilant citizenry. Anything else is just legislative chaos. So what do we take away from this hearing? Stay informed. Don't let Congress regulate in the dark. The more Americans understand crypto and digital assets, the harder it is for politicians to pull a fast one. Demand transparency. Every dollar of campaign money from the crypto industry, or any industry, should be disclosed, plain and simple. Hold leaders accountable. If your senator or representative starts voting in line with lobbyist cash instead of your interests, vote them out. Defend innovation. America should be the global leader in digital finance. That means standing against overregulation that drives entrepreneurs abroad. Protect liberty. At the end of the day, this isn't just about technology. It's about freedom. It's about whether ordinary Americans will have access to financial tools that bypass corrupt institutions and empower the people. Let me step back here. Why am I fired up about this? Why should you be? Because this is about the American dream. The ability for anyone, anywhere, to build something new, to innovate, to take risks, to succeed without begging Washington for permission. Crypto and blockchain, whatever you think of them, represent that frontier spirit. The same spirit that drove pioneers west, that built railroads, that put a man on the moon. Innovation, risk-taking, freedom. But if we let Washington strangle it with bad laws, or worse, sell it out to the highest bidder, then we've betrayed that dream. We've traded liberty for control. We've traded opportunity for bureaucracy. And that, my friends, is unacceptable. So here's the challenge. Will America lead, or will America surrender? Will Congress rise above the mudslinging and the money to set clear, principled rules for digital assets? Or will we keep getting hearings where politicians act like children and lobbyists write the future? The choice is ours. As patriots, as voters, as Americans who still believe in freedom, we must demand better. This is America Viewpoint, where we don't whisper, we roar. We stand tall, speak loud, and never back down from defending truth and liberty. If this message fired you up, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the fight for America doesn't end when the video does. This hearing on digital assets showed us the stakes: innovation, corruption, freedom, and America's future. Don't let the noise of Washington distract you from the truth. Stay strong. Stay informed. Stay patriotic. Until next time, stay strong, stay free, and may God bless the United States of America.